In January 2025, a coalition of Republican lawmakers introduced Senate Bill 227, known as the Peace Act of 2025, short for Protect Equality and Civics Education. On its surface, the bill aims to protect students from divisive concepts in civics and history education funded by the federal government. But beneath that surface lies a sweeping attempt to reshape how race, identity, and historical injustice are discussed in American classrooms. The bill in context. The Peace Act was introduced just 2 years after the U.S. Supreme Court overturned affirmative action in college admissions, and amid ongoing cultural and political battles over critical race theory, gender studies, and DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion policies. Supporters describe the bill as a way to reaffirm equality and remove ideology from classrooms. Critics call it a censorship tool designed to suppress honest conversations about systemic racism, sexism, and American history. The legislation fits within a broader national effort to regulate curriculum, especially in response to what many on the political right view as a drift toward woke indoctrination in public schools and universities. Legislative details. Title: What the Peace Act prohibits. The bill bars federal funding for educational programs that promote, encourage, or include the following ideas, described in the bill as divisive concepts: that one race or sex is inherently superior to another, that the United States is fundamentally or irredeemably racist or sexist, that individuals, because of their race or sex, bear inherent guilt or responsibility for past actions committed by others, that an individual should feel discomfort, shame, or psychological distress based on race, sex, or national origin, that meritocracy, hard work, or neutral legal systems are racist constructs, that any individual is inherently oppressive, whether consciously or unconsciously, due to race or gender, that laws or systems of government in the U.S. were designed solely to enforce oppression. These are ideas often associated, rightly or wrongly, with critical race theory, CRT, which has become a target of conservative legislation across the country since 2020. What the bill seeks to achieve. Supporters of the Peace Act claim that the bill will prevent public funds from being used to indoctrinate students into controversial ideological frameworks, encourage civics and history education that promotes unity, shared values, and constitutional literacy, reaffirm civil rights laws by emphasizing individual equality over group identity, reduce political tension in classrooms, and restore neutral education environments. Why it's controversial. Critics, including many educators, historians, and civil rights advocates, argue that the bill deliberately blurs the line between honest academic inquiry and politically sensitive topics. It may chill free speech in classrooms, causing educators to avoid discussing slavery, segregation, redlining, police brutality, or gender inequality. It creates a federal definition of acceptable history, limiting educators' autonomy. It reduces history and civics to sanitized, oversimplified narratives, ignoring the complexity of the American experience. The language around discomfort is subjective and vague, which could open the door to lawsuits, self-censorship, or administrative discipline of teachers. Many also argue that this bill is part of a larger political effort to control education and suppress progressive values under the guise of neutrality. Historical and political context. This is not the first attempt to regulate classroom content via legislation. In 2020 to 2022, numerous states passed laws restricting how race and gender could be taught in K-12 schools. Several of these laws were challenged in court and partially blocked for violating the First Amendment or overreaching state authority. The Peace Act attempts to do at the federal level what many states have done locally, tying federal money to approved content.